Audubon 2456.
State of the Save is back with part 2 of our Bioshock discussion. We were off last week, had a nice relaxing vacation week. I guess it was real busy for us, but you know, we weren't here to talk to you guys. With me today, as always, Michael. How things going, Michael?
Things are good. Things are good.
I tell you, it's another late night episode, which means
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it could go either way. It could be two sleepy people, or it could be just going insane. You never know. But it's going to be a good show today. I feel like we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. As you guys know, part 2 of Bioshock, we're going to be finishing up our discussion on this game, announcing our next game, talking about all sorts of cool stuff today. So, Michael, you think we should just get on into it?
Maybe. I think you're forgetting one thing.
I'm not forgetting anything.
What?
Michael.
What do you mean?
Michael,
we had a bet that if we got like 5 people, either 5-star reviews or reaching out to us about playing a certain game, we would play that game.
What bet?
What?
I've taken a lot of hits to the head, Michael. I don't remember many things. So what bet? No, I am a man of my word. So I will say
down to the wire.
Yeah, it was down to literally yesterday. So we're recording this on Friday. It was Thursday that the last request for Sonic Adventures 2 came in. Much to my chagrin, I had met the guy who had threw this request in literally a week before, and I thought he was a nice guy. Now I'm kind of regretting it. Caleb, what the hell, man? But, you know, we did get the 5 reviews.
Called out.
Yeah, I'll call people out on this stuff. No, he's a good guy. No, we did get the 5 reviews across multiple platforms. So it is, because I'm a man of my word, we will do Sonic Adventure 2.
At some point, not immediately.
Yeah, we've already figured out what our next show is. And then there's going to be kind of shenanigans for about a month. Well, shows are going to be still going on, but they're already kind of in stone. And we'll explain that when it's time to actually talk about it. But, one second, there's an annoying bird outside. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to hear that or not. I don't know. I don't think it's registering, but
I don't think so.
If not, y'all just realize we're looking around. I see Michael looking around her house. It's outside. I've been trying to hunt this bird down for a while. But no, shows are kind of already in motion for the next month and a half. So when those shows are done, we will do Sonic Adventure 2. It is officially on the docket for this season. Much to excitement from Michael.
Oh, I am so excited to realize, oh no, I made a huge mistake. What have I done?
I give it like an hour before you regret this decision.
I remember the first stage where you play Sonic, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Then I'm going to get to the tail stage and go, oh wait, no. What have I done?
You're going to regret it pretty quick, I feel. But
there'll be some highs and lows.
I just want all you people out there to know this is all your fault. You did this.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you for making this happen.
Thank you for, I thought we were cool, listeners.
You got your reviews. You got your...
but I'm
outreach from the community.
I'm a greedy son of a bitch. We have actually got a lot of outreach recently from the community. People asking about certain games we're going to play and all sorts of stuff. So we always enjoy reading those. It's always fun. Just getting the business out of the way also up front. Remember, follow us on State of the Save at TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And send your emails to stateofthesave@gmail.com. But that's all the business. Let's talk about the fun stuff.
All right.
Let's talk about some video games. Michael, do you like video games?
I do like video games. With a G.
Listen, man, it's been a long day. Give me a break. No,
I couldn't tell if that was intentional or a bit. I don't know I never know what I'm walking into.
Yeah, I've referred to them as video games my whole life. I just now realized that's not. No, yeah, it's always a bit, Michael. This is all a bit. No, yeah, but we like video games. Let's talk about some video games, Michael.
Yeah.
What you been playing?
As I mentioned last time, I was like, well, I got the whole Resident Evil series. I might not jump into it right away. I jumped into Resident Evil 2 right away, and it's kind of grabbed me, and I've been marathoning that game. Resident Evil 2 is one of the best games I played in probably a very long time. Oh man,
it's one of my favorite games I played in the past couple of years. I think I played it for the first time at the very beginning of last year. I decided playing a zombie game in March of 2020 was a good idea. You know, the beginning of a pandemic. Let's play a bunch of zombie games. But it's a damn good video game, man.
Oh yeah, like I have in a week I plowed through Leon's campaign and now am on Claire's campaign. And that second campaign, like I wanted to like speed run, so like for the first half hour I didn't save, going like, I don't know where everything is, and all of a sudden it ramps up in difficulty. A lot faster than your first playthrough. Because it's like, oh, you've done this before. All right, we're gonna throw some high level enemies your way, and you're just gonna figure out what to do.
You meet Mr. X on the second playthrough a lot faster. You also run into like liquors and stuff like that a lot faster.
And the ammo is, I swear, there's less of it.
I think also you did what I did, which is play Leon's campaign first and then Claire. To me, Claire's weapons and ammunition is more skill-based, I guess.
Leon's weapons are all very, like, mid-tier solid. Claire's has a huge range and ability. You have from, like, a snub-nosed pistol all the way to a grenade launcher.
Yes.
That's a pretty big range.
Leon's
got, like, he's got your standard heavy duty like shotgun that gets better as you go, and you got that pistol, really good, like an RE4 combo, you know, like the reliable stuff. And like you're gonna make it through with those things just fine. Claire needs a bit of an upgrade early on, and then she gets it, but
Claire is, like I said, I think her skill ceiling for her stuff is higher. Like even her submachine gun, because it's such a limited ammunition, you have to get good at, like...
Those zombies bob and weave, too. Like, they're moving all over the place. They're not just going to run to you and walk. Oh, no. They're going to run to you and, like, lunge.
Well, they also... They do sporadic motion so well that, like, once you're lined up on their head, they all of a sudden, they'll bend. And it's not as easy to take them out. Like, you think that, going back to just regular old zombies, I can take these guys... Especially with the better movement that game has... But because the zombies are so erratic in how they move, and they'll kind of jolt at you when they get within a certain amount of feet of you, like it's still a very challenging game to me. And like I think the police station in particular is such a well-designed location. There's so many blind corners and like tough to navigate areas. I keep thinking about the bathroom that has a hole in it that goes into that gets you like to the STARS office or something.
Yeah,
and like. That area right there, there's multiple times where you'll encounter zombies in there where it's such a tight, confined place with steam, and it just adds so much of a difficulty. Man, it's a damn good video game.
You got zombies on one side, and you hear footsteps coming in the other side. You gotta make a choice really fast about where you're gonna go, and it's never the right one.
That grenade launcher is good for stunning Mr. X if you have to.
Yeah, I learned that pretty quick.
Yeah, when in doubt, shoot him with a grenade launcher and see what happens.
Claire also swears a surprising amount. Leon swears occasionally when things get rough, but Claire, like every other word out of her mouth is just dropping some words.
Leon was a Boy Scout. Claire was the kid behind the middle school smoking cigarettes.
I believe it. Because she doesn't sound scared when she misses a shot. She just sounds pissed. Like, this ruined her day.
She just goes like, damn. You know? I really...
when she goes like, son of a... It's like really mad. Just not even scared. Like, she'll kind of get tensed up when they get closer. But as they get far away, she's like just... Every shot, she says like another swear word. It's like Gordon Ramsay trying to cook.
Leon Kennedy is my favorite Resident Evil character.
I mean, yeah.
But Claire is a very close second because of the remake of 2. She is really cool. They did a great job with her.
How high is Jill on your list? Because
maybe 4th or 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Ethan is pretty high on my list.
That seems to be a hot take now. Everybody seems, ever since more people have played 7 and 8, people are like turning against Ethan. And I'm like, he seems fine.
I think you're supposed to like view yourself as Ethan.
He's an insert, but he's a pretty good insert, I would say.
I think Mia's probably close to him because I think the more you learn about Mia as a character in 7, the better she gets. Chris is very low for me. Like, I know that like Chris has been in a ton of Resident Evil stuff, but he's very low for me.
I might be all in on Ada. Ada's cool.
Ada's cool. Yeah, Leon's A tier. He's S tier.
Where does Wesker rank?
Oh, so fucking low. Like bottom 50.
Hair S tier, character F tier.
Yeah. S tier for Leon.
S tier for hair and character.
Yeah, and then Claire's like an A.
This is a file corrupted.
Yeah.
We're gonna rank the hair of the Resident Evil protagonist.
Wait, real quick, I tried to watch the Resident Evil show on Netflix.
So did I. I gave up after one episode because I was bored
my Lord,
out of my
that
mind.
was such a guys.
We were going to do an episode on that.
Yes, but we watched one episode. We didn't even talk about it. That's how I knew no one cared. Because I watched one episode and I said to myself, like, it's Leon Kennedy. I love Leon Kennedy. And somehow they made Leon Kennedy boring. And also there was
You have to try. You have to be like, we're going to take the coolest character and just
they're also like
make him dull.
It's got like, it's bad. Claire is boring in it. Like it's got like a really weird animation style too. It's 3D animated, but it's like so kind of like choppy.
You ever see it reminded me of that Robert Zemeckis art style. Did you see that Beowulf movie with like Angelina Jolie? It's very much like that, where it's like we're trying to emulate real life but doing it animated. And you're like, why didn't you go either direction? You're trying to do a middle ground here.
It also was obviously made by a Japanese studio.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite thing is if you ever watch like anime or something where a Japanese studio tries to tell a story around American like special forces, the way they make American military talk is like it's like a bad G.I. Joe cartoon. And like the way there's like a whole like war in like Africa freaking sequence in this show. It's weird. It was bad. We're not watching it, and we're not doing a file corrupted on it.
Playing Resident Evil and being a Metal Gear stan, I think I realized my favorite genre of games is America told through a Japanese perspective. So in other words, if I play Metal Wolf Chaos, that might be my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, where the president is manning a big old mech and
because the vice president
tried to take over.
Did a coup and took over. Surprisingly grounded.
Yeah, you know. Wow, so much to think about there. I did something. I got something.
All right, what'd you get?
I got an Xbox Series X.
Welcome to the next generation.
I'm in next generation. No, I'm very excited. Got an Xbox Series X. Couple of things. Let's talk about the Xbox Series X real quick.
Yeah.
One, very, very happy with the performance so far on everything I've played on the Series X.
What is the first thing you boot up to see that?
Yeah.
I'm going to love this. Probably.
Necromunda hired gun. So it ran like shit on my Xbox One.
How's it run on the Series
Very
X?
well. Very well. It fixed a lot of the visual issues. It runs very smoothly. The really terrible load times were fixed. The reason why I did that, though, was I didn't have a ton of time. I got the system set up. You know, it takes some time to set up a modern system. You know, I had to download the app and go through all that stuff and remember how to get into my Xbox account. It was a whole thing. And then I ran into the thing of like, oh, shit. I'm in the middle of a game for a show that I do, and I don't want to like lose my progress. Xbox has this cool transfer feature where literally you can just turn it on both of your Xboxes, and as long as they're on the same Wi-Fi network, just run a complete transfer, and you can just take your entire hard drive from the one and put it on the Xbox Series X. It takes a little bit of time, obviously, to do all the downloading.
Quicker than just doing a straight download.
A lot quicker, and it takes all of your saves with it. So you're just, it's awesome. Very, very, very convenient. I started it before I went to bed. I shut everything off, went to bed, woke up next morning, everything was there.
I think these consoles are very similar to phones now in that when I set up my wife's iPhone recently, it did the same thing. It was like, hey, hold your camera up to the new iPhone. All right, we're downloading everything. Cool. That was so yeah. It sounds a lot like that, where it's just like a really quick process, and then you. Is it like when you did that when you pulled up your Series X? Did it have like your dashboard and everything like saved to everything? That's cool.
And the big thing is also for me, this Xbox is more of like I feel like buying the Series X is like buying a new PC. Like, it doesn't feel like when you bought, like, a PlayStation 2 for the first time, right? You had a PlayStation, you had a PlayStation 2. It's more of, like, okay, now I've got a significantly harder, like, stronger, more powerful machine.
But everything looks as
Everything looks good. Well, and things run a lot smoother. Like, it runs super smooth. I played some Apex. I've been playing a game that's not available on the Xbox One. Leads me into a segue. See, I'm a high quality segue artist over here. Mm-hmm. Been playing a game called Enlisted.
Right. Yeah.
Which is it's a free to play is a weird word to put it, but it's a free to play online. I'm gonna say sim shooter. It's a little bit more on the simulation side of things than it is on like a normal shooter.
When you mentioned this game off mic, I didn't know what you were talking about, and then when you said it again and how it was next gen, I'm like, oh yeah, I downloaded that and played a couple rounds of that on my PS5. So.
Yes, first-person shooters are my favorite genre. I also enjoy big multiplayer first-person shooters. This thing is good, but boy is the microtransaction stuff weird. So like, you basically run squads, which is you and like some AI companions that you will be able to switch to if you die.
Kind of Republic Commando-y.
Yeah,
sorta.
But in a multiplayer sense, with what kind of feels like a Battlefield mode that Battlefield's been doing in the past few games, which is like a frontline pushing version of Conquest, when there was like only one objective each team is fighting over, unlike normal Conquest, which is an entire map. It's good. Like I said, it's more in the simulation style than it is like a regular first-person shooter. You know, any weapon you aim down sights, you can hold down your breath. Bolt actions, I've been using. The bolt actions are kind of like what you get from the get-go. One shot to the body takes them down. One shot to the head. It's a very slow-paced kind of thing, but it is pretty good. It's something I'm fiddling with. My first game, I played the Omaha Beach mission. And I was on the Axis side, and I ended up that game with 148 kills and 1 death.
Huh.
Everyone else on my team had 32 kills. Apparently, no one understands that if you sit on a machine gun in that game, boy, you just wipe freaking fools out.
I'm invincible.
I thought for a while I was playing bots. And I had to keep checking and then my second game, I had like a more normal game.
That's the most casual brag ever. I got 100 kills my first play.
Well, I thought I was playing bots. And then I was like, the second game, I think what it is that map has a particular location where there's a machine gun that gives you an unfair angle. And there's 3 machine guns in that bunker. So the only thing I was doing is emptying the machine gun until it overheated, go to the next one, and just keep jumping back and forth. But it's an okay shooter. Like I said, the microtransaction stuff is weird because they want you to purchase squads. So you can unlock new squads that have different weapons and stuff. But like you can purchase a squad, but it's only for one army on one campaign. So like you can buy like an American machine gun squad. But then if you're playing on the German team, you don't have that. Or the Russian team, you don't have that squad. So it's very odd how that, and it's kind of a PC style like interface, so it's very clunky. There's some weird stuff with it. It's okay though. It was more of a, I wanted to play it just to see kind of how multiplayer games run on that new system. Mm-hmm. Very, very happy with the Series X. Looking forward to playing all the stuff that's coming out down the pipeline that's going to set the current generation or old generation of consoles. I can say that now because I'm on the next generation.
Last gen.
All the last gen consoles are going to be set on fire by some of these games coming up. And that leads us into another thing we wanted to talk about before we jumped into Bioshock. The EA Play event that happened, I guess, Wednesday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, so Thursday. You wanted to talk about that, Michael. Kind of do a rundown real quick on the EA Play stuff.
I didn't take notes. There was They mentioned some of their free to play stuff like Knockout City and Apex stuff going on with that.
I want to say, host of the show also Nick played some Knockout City at one point.
I think that's right. Yeah,
he played some of that. So, but they talked about some of that stuff.
Those are really Lost in Random looks pretty interesting. Really good art style. Tim Burton-y, kind of like reminds me a lot of the American McGee Alice games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Too. But there's two things I want to talk about from this whole thing. One is that I'm probably going to buy Battlefield 2042 pretty early on because that. If you want to get me invested in your first-person shooter, you got to put something dumb in it. That's a requirement. Grappling hook, giant robots, awesome. Or how about having future soldiers fight soldiers from World War II in a game mode that you customize via Battlefield Portal?
One of the reasons I bought or I wanted to get the Series X was because of the new Battlefield coming out. I talked about it at E3 on our big E3 show that we did that y'all should go back and listen to because it was a high quality reporting. I talked about that. Like I saw that game and I was like, boy, my Xbox One is going to be set on fire by this game. And now that I've got the Series X, I'm getting that day one. But I am so like, it's easy to get me onto a first-person shooter because it's my favorite genre. Mm-hmm. For you, it's a lot harder. When they showed the Battlefield Portal stuff, I don't think that if you have a passing interest in video games, in multiplayer video games, that should interest you because
I could make World War II biplanes, an army of World War II biplanes fight one 2042 jet have it be awesome.
What it is basically it is Battlefield without the limitations of a modern setting. So you have access to tanks, aircraft, guns, skins, all the different eras that Battlefield has covered. It looks like only starting in World War II.
Yeah, so no Battlefield 1 stuff.
But I wonder if that will be a DLC thing later on down the line. I
think I imagine they'll add stuff later.
Yeah, they usually add
There's Bad Company stuff in there because I think the two biggest things missing are one in Vietnam. There's no Battlefield 2.
I could totally see a expansion pack coming out with Battlefield 1 stuff.
At this point, I'm like, this is all I'm going to play.
It's such a cool looking mode.
I want to ride horses on top of buildings.
They showed a massive
jump off of the horse on a wingsuit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want. Just congratulations, you've somehow blended GTA 5 with Battlefield, and I'm like, yes, give it to me.
They showed like a P-51 Mustang chasing after like a modern fighter jet, getting shot down by a guy with an RPG. They showed a army of German World War II soldiers fighting an army of American soldiers from modern day. The Americans all carrying defibrillators and the Germans carrying knives in a massive like street fight in the middle of like it is battle. One thing I mentioned, like they talked about and they showed off in the initial stuff, is there doesn't seem to be any like focus on like a setting or a story. It's just like a big modern fight with tanks and helicopters, and it's like more G.I. Joe than like this is the tale of like some fight in this made up country in the Middle East.
And all like there's always like map hazards that introduce themselves like halfway through. They're all gonna be like climate disasters, so all of a sudden a tornado appears in the middle of the map.
Yeah,
that stuff interests me and it's cool.
Battlefield is at its best when it embraces the insanity of having this many people with this many vehicles and crazy guns in the middle of a big arena just fighting. And
a battlefield, if you will.
Well, like even the initial trailer showing the guy jumping out of an aircraft, shooting down another plane with a rocket launcher, and then landing back in his aircraft, that's from a trick video that went around a while ago in Battlefield 4, where some streamer pulled that off, where he jumped out of a plane mid-fight, shot an aircraft down with a rocket, and got back in the fight.
That's the kind of fun they want to evoke.
And I'm glad that they're going, like, they've had this weird identity crisis with Battlefield, I think since maybe Battlefield 4, technically. Well, like, Battlefield 1 was very grim. Like, it had the war stories mode. It was...
I liked Battlefield 1.
I liked it a lot. but it embraced like the really like dirty trench warfare.
The opening of that game is you playing as different soldiers getting shot, and it's saying like their birth and death dates.
Yes.
And then you go immediately to the pilot's campaign, and he's like, "Woohoo! I'm an unreliable narrator behind enemy lines. Look at me, I'm cool."
But even
there was a big tonal
Yeah.
shift with that game in a way that.
But
was,
like they were trying to go like more serious, I think, in some ways,
Was
and
it
they failed some ways, but they were trying. But then like Battlefield 5 comes out, and it's like World War II through the eyes of, I don't know. It was weird. It was World War II, but it was like they had like hero skins and stuff that was kind of odd. It was just kind of like, hey, we don't know. We're back at World War II because people said we should.
Call of Duty beat us to the punch again. So
yeah. I'm excited. This is the first Battlefield since probably Battlefield 1 that I'm like super jazzed about. I like this franchise a lot. So, man, like I said, the Battlefield Portal stuff just looked like insanity, and that's what I want to see, man. I'm going to hit people in the head with a shovel while you run around in your freaking modern day tank. That's what I want to do. It looks good. Mm-hmm. They also showed off some Apex stuff.
Mm-hmm. There was one game. I'm not interested in driving games, but that grid game looks really interesting because of the story mode in it.
Yeah,
like they're doing like live action actors, but doing like Mandalorian style, where the Mandalorian technology had like they use Unreal Engine 4 to like populate the background and stuff, and that appears what they're going to be doing because I guess the whole game runs on Unreal 4. So it's like, let's just put live action actors in this and make it evoke like a style. So I was like, a car game with a story mode. All right, cool.
They've tried that stuff before in like Need for Speed.
They went full FMV for like Need for Speed for a while. I think Most Wanted, the reboot of Most Wanted, and that proper Need for Speed, I think, did that too.
I mean, I'm not a big driving game guy, but it did look interesting.
And then lastly, they showed off Dead Space Remake. That Jeff Grubb, now of VentureBeat and now of Giant Bomb, said that it's going to be similar to like how Resident Evil 2 is, but for Dead Space. So that has me kind of interested.
We just played through Dead Space this year. Believe it or no, last year.
Last October. It was
last
a Halloween
October.
game.
Yeah, last October. Sorry, it's all blends together. But and it's the lowest ranking game on our list.
It's not a bad game by any means.
No, but it's just like one standard length. It's like a Corolla car. It's like one standard length of car. Dead Space is one standard length of video game, and like I saw the trailer and I was like, I really hope they do something interesting with this, because as somebody who's went back to it recently, I was like, man, it doesn't hold up as well as I think people think it does. But then I was like reading some of the comments on like a Reddit post. I never read like the YouTube comments.
Oh no, never.
That's just like people shouting out like, "Who's here from California?" and then like racism and stuff. Like it's either people shouting out where they're from or racism,
or
both. Like it was a lot of people like, this is like one of my favorite video games of all time. And I'm like, you must be like 19. Like, I feel like there's an age where this must have been like one of the first like mature games you played, or I don't know. I was just trying to figure out why.
Is our Resident Evil 4 someone else's Dead Space?
Maybe, but
that might be it.
But I think Resident Evil 4 holds up going back to it when Dead Space doesn't.
Great video game.
Anything else you want to talk about the EA play?
That's pretty much it.
Let's jump into some stuff we here to do. Let's talk about some Bioshock.
Let's dive back in.
Hey, under the sea. Under the sea. First thing I realized, because I'm an idiot, is when you navigate the menus, it plays a piano.
Yeah, the menus for at least the main menu.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. So I sat there for a little while trying to make little simple tunes out of the menu.
Have you ever played Xbox's Killer Instinct remake?
Yes.
It does that too with the original theme. And
But it's a lot more rocking than this.
Yeah.
This is more like, classy. Semi-classy. Just to kind of get you caught back up to where we were in, I think, Fort Frolic.
Fort Frolic, yeah.
we were in the middle of the, I'm going to say quest, but the mission to kill 3 different artists and take their photos to help create a masterpiece for Sandra Cohen, who is the kind of the main guy in this.
The auteur.
The author.
My note here, my first note says, "Oh boy, here I go killing again,"
which is never not a solid joke.
Just because, like, oh yeah, we're right in the middle of our assassination quest.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird spot to leave off. Couple of things I want to talk about. There was a random bathroom in this section that I went into that has like an entire sculpture of people in it. And it's just so far off the beaten path. There was nothing in there.
I think I missed that, yeah.
And you see the shadows as you enter the bathroom. And as you turn right, it's this massive sculpture of like 10 people. And it's just in the middle of this empty, broken up bathroom. This game is so packed. I'm going to talk about this in particular when we get to the apartment complex.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Where there's just so much unrequired but necessary to fully enjoy this game. It's places to explore where you just find so much cool lore, so much cool just environmental design. That arrow is the bane of this video game.
Absolutely.
If you followed that arrow this entire time, and if you did, I can't really fault you because the game gives you a big freaking arrow and tells you to follow it most of the time. But if you do, you're missing out on so much cool shit.
A person smarter than me can probably make the case about how the arrow ties in with the theme of this game being like control and having your choices taken away from you. Someone smarter than me can make that argument, and I'd probably believe them.
I know that I get the argument.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of this game is very, very...
In actuality, it's like, please don't stare at this box and watch what's happening.
Yeah, I go back to the whole thing where they talked about they had the guy who stared up at the ceiling and wouldn't leave the bathysphere in the first, beginning of the game. No, but like, I think that's just something that is just so unnecessary, and it robs a lot of the experience. But we'll talk about that as we go. The fights in this whole section between the two guys that we had to hunt down to finish this mission, they're fine.
There's one cool bit with Cobb where you drop down into like the area where you can't crawl back up from, and you see a mannequin in a chair. You don't know it's a mannequin. You know something's off, and then I think it's a cutscene. Your character turns it around, and there's a bomb there, and then that's planted. Just like, that was a really cool bit. I really like that a lot. The
game doesn't take control away from you very often, so when it does, it's kind of off-putting almost. It's like shocking, like, oh, whoa, what is this?
Then there's a weird bit where he's like hiding out in the rafters up there, so it took me a while to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, am I supposed to shoot him through these, or where I'm going to go? It took me a while to realize, oh, there's a path here I can squeeze into to go around.
There's a couple of cool things with... I did not write down the lady's name, but inside Eve's garden, you find kind of like their main dancer in the place.
Jasmine Jolene.
Yeah, she had a affair at one point or something with Ryan, and he killed her because she was pregnant.
Yes.
Ryan, the more you explore the Andrew Ryan character in this thing, I have found people in the ward who thought Andrew Ryan had some good points.
Oh no!
And
don't go down those paths on the internet. That's not a place you want to be.
When you have a podcast about video games, people ask you questions like, "What are you doing for the show?" And you tell them, and then they want to tell your opinions, which is usually one of my favorite things about having this show. It's one of my favorite things. But every once in a while, you come across someone who starts off with the line, I never quite get why everyone hates Andrew Ryan so much. And then you stare at that person as they tell you horrible things for 20 minutes. I'm not friends with this person.
Andrew Ryan wasn't the problem. It was obviously Fontaine.
Yes.
Everything was going well until the riots happened.
Yeah, Andrew Ryan,
yeah.
That person is not a friend of mine. But that person's something.
He gave the link to a different podcast.
Yeah. He might listen to this, but some right's right, wrong's wrong. But I really like there's like so much Ryan stuff in this that you can pick up and learn about his kind of life in Rapture and the things that he's doing throughout the game that don't really play into the main story, but they're just interesting tidbits. Also, I thought her little section was kind of haunting because you get some of the ghost stuff when you visit her room.
Yeah, you do see the ghosts and everything.
Where you see like the fact that
all the audio logs are really chilling during this bit too.
There's a lot of good environmental design and lighting in this section.
Before you even get there, you see like posters around that say like Jasmine Jolene, Ryan's favorite girl.
Yeah, she's like, which I think is weird that they advertise her like that, because she's like is she like a cabaret dancer or is she like a stripper?
I took her as like she's like a performer, like someone who goes out and just
kind of like a cabaret dancer or single,
a singer,
like a cabaret singer. Like because at first I was like Eve's Garden looks like a strip club, and now I'm like maybe she because there is money on the stage.
Oh, that's true, yeah. But
so I was like maybe it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
But I mean, Rapture being a area that money kind of is the Of course, money's the economy. That's not much.
But it's also like
money's the language of Rapture. It's the moral background of Rapture. It's the government.
Yes,
money is their government.
So like
maybe it's a way of like showing approval. Like, have you ever seen the Meow Meow Beans episode of Community?
Yeah,
where they're like ranking each other. Like the more money you have, like the higher your social status in Rapture.
Yeah,
in a way. So like it's like we approve of you. Here's some money. Might be Rapture's way of showing applause. Like, I'm not buying flowers. I gave her money. That you can't buy anything with flowers.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I enjoy a lot of the environmental design in this entire section. I like the mechanic of every time you put a photo on the masterpiece, you get a reward that's usually either a weapon upgrade. I think this is when you get the crossbow.
Yes.
Which is a weapon that I enjoy that weapon a lot. The biggest problem is the trap bolts, or the trap bolts. They don't work the way you think they would.
You think you would shoot one wall and then shoot another wall, but it's weird because you shoot it, and then if you're standing in the same spot, you might get zapped.
Yeah,
but you have to move, and then it somehow makes the bolt go behind you on the opposite wall.
Well, it's almost like you have to shoot it and then move quick because it shoots back to where you were standing.
Or you can do what I do and just shoot it directly at a target and one shot most of them.
Yeah, I mean it works great in that way, but like I like to use them as like a trap for the big daddies.
I did that accidentally and was walking around after I had killed Cohen, and there was a little sister just by herself. And I was like, what happened? So I was like, are you lost?
Well, I guess somebody's getting rescued.
So I was like, I didn't find the Big Daddy corpse, but I was like, I bet he died from when I was dealing with the ballet music horde mode that kind of happened.
Yeah.
Where I was just firing traps, and I was like, the Big Daddy probably died in the crossfire somewhere. This little girl was like, just running around lost.
Daggum, that's kind of hard to do. You must have like really had a lot of traps down.
Probably. There was a lot going on in that bit. There was some plasmids being thrown that I didn't know where. Because when the ballet music goes and they're just coming from every angle, that gets hectic really fast.
I was pretty lucky. I had a lot of shotgun shells. And I don't know what weapons you upgraded in this. I upgraded the shotgun first, and that upgraded shotgun, especially with like the explosive shells, that'll fix your problem pretty quick.
I just upgraded damage on everything, like damage on assault rifle, damage on pistol, damage on shotgun.
I upgraded the entirety of the shotgun, the machine gun, the grenade launcher, and almost the pistol. I only did the damage.
A little bit of everything, but never one thing all the way.
Really?
Jack of all trades was how I played it, which probably was to my detriment near some of the end stuff of this game, especially like an escort section coming up.
We're going to talk about that one.
Metal Gear Solid 3 rung in my mind during this last little bit.
We'll get to there. That was the only time I really... Yeah, we'll get to there.
Hip-hop, Mr. B. Hip-hop, Mr. B. You're going too slow. I'm ahead of you.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
You complete Cohen's masterpiece, and you get this cool moment when he's walking down the stairs having his big celebration.
It is a cool moment.
Unless you're in my game, well, somehow I accidentally triggered a Big Daddy, even though I had already cleared out all the Big Daddies. And I rescued all the little sisters at that point. But a random Big Daddy got triggered somehow. So as Cohen's walking down the steps with the fireworks going off, charging down the steps behind him is a very pissed off Big Daddy. So as he's like over there just like, oh, my masterpiece, I'm like fighting for my life against this pissed off Big Daddy.
Mr. Cohen, do you mind ducking, please? Or not, whatever you want to do.
My favorite thing is, after you are done with the thing, he just admires his work. And
you told me off mic that you could leave. I'm like, I didn't know that.
You can just leave.
I shot him point blank.
Oh, I knew I could get something out of him. And I'm like, this guy's a psychopath. I'm like, ain't nothing gonna be. And also, I just got done fighting that Big Daddy that came charging down the steps with him.
You're like, I can't do a boss fight right now.
But I was like, screw it. So I shotgunned him in the head. He's actually a pretty difficult boss because he teleports.
Yeah.
And but when you do beat him, you unlock the 2 containers inside of the main hall that allow you to get a couple of upgrades.
Oh, I
you
missed
didn't get that?
I killed him and I missed it.
The entire purpose of killing him is to get those 2 upgrades.
I thought the entire point of killing him was to take the picture to get the achievement.
I didn't get the achievement.
I did it because I was like, that's poetic irony. I think the achievement's called like poetic irony or something. And I was just like, oh.
I didn't do that. See, that's the difference of players. You're like, let's have this cool moment, and like me taking a photo of this guy wanted me to take photos of dead people. And then I'm like, what's my upgrade? Give me my upgrade, bitch. So I got my...
So I did a whole boss fight for nothing. I didn't get the
it's
upgrade.
literally right behind him. They're in the 2 glass cases.
I saw the 2 glass cases, but they never opened, I guess.
Because you got to kill him and take it off of him.
Oh,
He's got a key.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't search his body.
Yeah,
I searched every body in this game, but apparently I didn't search Cohen.
Yeah, you get it. He gets a key, and you can unlock both of those things. And...
Whoops.
Yeah, it's okay.
That would have been helpful for like this next section, because...
next section is kind of kicking the balls, ain't it?
A little bit.
Next section, we go to Ryan's office.
Before we get there, I just want to mention, there's like the bathysphere chamber... When you're leaving, has like a big bunny mask. I thought that was kind of off-putting too. It kind of fits the theme of the area, but
I think it's like supposed to be like the because Fort Frolic is like the entertainment district, and you see a lot of the people in there are wearing those like little like New Year's Eve or like masquerade masks.
It's almost like because of the tone of this game, it almost feels cultish in a way too. So.
Yeah, it's like it's
like
kind
one
of
last image that reminds you of the area, like a stinger, before you move on to the next section.
Yeah, I get that. Ryan's office is fascinating.
We're in the heart of his industry here. Like it's
not pretty. It's all machinery. It's all because it fits Ryan, right? That it would be in the middle of where he's making his money. He's making he's building his city.
This is probably like you can infer that. This is where he made his money on shore, too. Like, Ryan Industries was probably...
He's Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, exactly.
Born in 1964.
Come on, Ryan, you can do it.
If y'all ain't watched the Inside Special with Bo Burnham, I highly suggest it. I watched it like 3 times in like 3 days. It's very, very good. No, my favorite part of this is as you're approaching Ryan's office, it does a great job because you're the hero of the game, right? So you got farther than anybody else, and you get to Ryan's office and you walk into the thing, and all these people he has like crucified into the walls are like all the people who got this far to try to assassinate Ryan.
That moment of you are not the first person to cross Ryan is such a good moment. Especially Ryan is an excellent antagonist during this bit because during this whole section he's taunting you. He's in your head this whole time. Well, there's no like Atlas or Fontaine in this section at all. It's all Ryan. And my favorite bit of hypocrisy from Ryan comes with the line, "A worm looks up and sees the face of God," as you're in a room that has a golden statue of him in the center of it.
Well,
as this is happening.
We talked about this during the opening of the game, right? Where he's got the banner that says "No gods, no kings, no masters," or "No masters, no gods, no kings."
No gods, no kings, only man.
No gods, no kings, only man. And then it's above a golden statue of Ryan.
It's draped across a picture of him. It illustrates that point all the well, but I thought this was a more in-your-face example.
Yes.
Because it's literally Ryan talking. It's not just like propaganda on a wall. He's like saying it as you're in this room knowingly. It's not just like the metaphor's not lost on him.
No.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
My favorite thing is, though, like in a lesser written game, like, oh man, you're the first guy to get to Ryan's office.
No one's ever made it this far.
Exactly, or something like that. No, here you get to Ryan's office, and it's like, check out these other people who did the same thing you did. See where it got them.
Best taunt in the game was, I'm going to run up, when you're dead, I'm going to host a parade, and they're going to walk past your body, and someone's going to say, who was that man hanging on my wall? I'm like, so good.
My favorite thing is Ryan keeps talking like he can turn Rapture around.
Yeah.
He never, even when you get to farther in this section, Ryan never has given up on Rapture. Like, there's multiple times where he's like, we're going to turn this around. And, like, any sane human being is looking around going, no, you're not, brother. It ain't going to happen. The dream is dead.
The game was rigged from the start.
Yeah.
To quote another game.
Yeah, the game was rigged from the start. But literally, the fact that he's still, like, when Rapture is reborn and I fix this problem.
All I need to kill is you, and I need to kill Atlas.
Yeah, once Atlas and you are dead, it's like, oh, you talking about the million other freaking strung out on Adam psychopaths roaming the city? You're going to just, like, turn them around too, you dumbass?
The section's like Dracula's castle with the whole, like,
yeah.
It's at, like, the heart of the fortress, and it's all, the impaled bodies and everything kind of evoke like a Dracula figure.
Well, and also in this Dracula's castle in a industrialist mentality, right? And even like roaming around the area, like there's all the furnaces going off. The big challenge for us here, first of all, combat is pretty heavy in this section. There's a lot of freaking splicers. There's a lot of heavy fighting going on, a lot of turrets.
A lot of turrets.
So many turrets.
A lot of cameras to send more
more
air turrets your way, too. So.
The big thing is you have to get yourself into Ryan's office through this door that no one successfully has breached the door. And as you pick up audio logs for the people on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about how they got there and what their plan is to take out Ryan. And it's interesting to listen to these audio logs and know
these people failed.
You failed. None of you actually got to Ryan.
I just need to trigger a systemic overload in harmonic core number 3, which is when you first hear it, you're like, you need to do a what? Where?
Well, like, but it's all these plans, right? All these other people had the same plan that you did of taking out Ryan, and they only got to the wall, you know? There's a section in which an enemy can rig up a vending machine. Did you get hit by that?
I don't think I did.
There was a section I walked in, and an enemy was, like, doing something to a vending machine, and I killed the enemy, and then when I tried to activate the vending machine, it blew up on me.
Oh, no.
So it was the only time it's happened in the game, but I thought that was interesting. It was a cool trick to catch me.
That is interesting. Because, of course, you're going to check the vending machine no matter what was tinkered with it, because you're like, I need help. I need some health. Sure.
Some couple other highlights in this is, like, one of the women trying to kill Ryan is because her kid became a little sister. You know, obviously the guy who was working on the bomb, building the EMP bomb, and that you basically use his plan to get into Ryan's office. There's a cool section in which you'll go into the heating section, like that handles all the heat venting, where the lights go off. And then as you progress forward, the lights go off again, and they keep going off as you go through that section until they ambush you. This is also when you start coming across a lot of splicers and stuff that are laying on the ground like they're dead. And then they pop up and attack.
They're not dead.
the combat in this part, I think, is when you start getting into a lot more difficult combat for sure.
I died more in this chunk than I did in the first half. A lot of Vita chambers were used.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this: I don't like the Vita chamber mechanic at all. Especially because there was I really struggled with ammunition in this second part, and one of the problems was I would have these huge fights against like a Big Daddy or in a big Splicer fight. And it would almost be better if I would have died and come back with what I had before I died.
Yeah,
than coming back with like 2 bullets and a wrench. And
half health, no health upgrades, no plasmids because you use it all trying to take down the Big Daddy with the last of your health. It leaves you in a spot worse than when you started, which you could argue makes death punishing. But it makes it a chore more than it does anything. It's just like, well, at least give me something to get by. And sometimes it'll spawn you next to a vending machine. But if you die a lot, then you're going to be low on funds at that point, which is why you need to kill a Big Daddy to get some funds back. So it's just like the loop here needs like either something needs to get taken out or something needs to be put in as a way to like get your resources back up in a way that will make the Vita chambers possibly make sense. Or just take the Vita chambers out and everything else I think will work more as intended.
I think that if without the Vita chambers, because I think that I had less fun in this section with the combat because there was a particular fight I had where I had a big Splicer fight that led into a Big Daddy fight. I was trying to keep the Big Daddy out of it. Somehow down the line, he got hit with something, triggered the Big Daddy fight. I expanded, I had a lot of ammunition. I lost all of it in that fight. I got killed. I had to come back, finish off the Big Daddy. And because I explored almost every section. I theoretically shouldn't have been low on anything because I was always exploring. But also I was fighting every Big Daddy. I was constantly doing all the stuff. But I was still always low of ammunition. My plasmids were, I usually had enough to do some stuff. But I just feel like the Vita chambers being there just make you come back with less resources than if they're like, hey, you blew that fight, come back at the checkpoint, start again, try again.
I imagine I could have probably used the save system more in that regard too.
Yeah, you could, but
yeah,
with the Vita chambers, it's so quick that it's like, at the same time, if you're playing, you want to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
a catch-22.
Exactly. One thing with combat in this section, I always found out that, especially in big fights, I had to change my I would have a decent amount of ammo, but I would have like 2 any personal rounds or 1 armor-piercing rounds or like 3 of these. So I would be changing half the time. During combat, I would just be going through weapon loadouts, thinking, how much ammo do I got here? Like, what's the next gun? What's the next gun on the rotation that I can use? Which mostly just ends up being shock and wrench. Just going around shock, wrench.
I had a lot of issues where I would have 2 shells of the regular shotgun ammo, 1 shell of electric buck, and 1 shell explosive. Mm-hmm. And you can get in this weird cycle when you're constantly reloading the gun because you're not having enough ammunition in any one particular to do stuff with. It's got some weirdness to it. It's good when it works, but one thing I kind of wish is that there's so much places you can explore. I just feel like maybe a little bit more ammo would maybe move it more in your favor if you are somebody like me who's fighting every Big Daddy, who's trying to get all the upgrades, Mm-hmm. It just feels like I should have had more ammo for the amount of exploring and extra fights I was doing. The big thing is here we're building the EMP bomb. It was very easy to get all the Big Daddy stuff for me because at that point, by the time I found the bomb, I had already killed all the Big Daddies in the area. So it's collect these off of dead Big Daddies. I was like, fine, that's easy. There's plenty of dead Big Daddies around here. The building of the bomb section is cool and all, up till you actually carry the bomb. This is this humongous bomb. And it's take the bomb to Ryan's gate. And you just pick up this giant bomb and it just disappears like you put it in your back pocket.
That bit made me laugh too. Did you also like not engage with combat when you go back to like the entryway to Ryan's office? Because I just ran right to the door and did the EMP and just like ran through.
When he's like blowing up the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like at that point I'm like, oh shit, we gotta go.
I don't have the ammo for this. I need to keep moving.
It is a valid strategy in this game, and it's something looking back on it I probably should have done more of. Try to like escape the splicers and run past them or sneak past them than trying to engage them all, because it will constantly spawn splicers into the environment.
This game is like one mechanic short of being an immersive sim like a Deus Ex or like more recently Prey. It just needs like a more robust stealth system as like a option and maybe some more sneaking paths. If they expanded that, this would have been a full-on like immersive sim where
Agreed.
you could have more choice in how you're going to approach situations. But you might argue that might have made the game a little bit too easy if you had like that
True.
option to like sneak through the area. So I wonder if it was like a balancing thing, because System Shock 2 was more of that than this game is. This one's more like an action RPG more than it is an immersive sim like that is.
It definitely is, but that's something that reminded me when I went back and played this is definitely is more of like an action RPG with the hacking and all that stuff that I forgot about in the first game.
Yeah.
I'm not good at the hacking, especially when it gets harder, but boy is it nice to have those auto hacks.
The auto hacks late in the game like helps, especially for like, I just need this turn on my side real quick. I don't want to have to.
Yeah, I don't want to have to fight. Let's just turn this thing around and make it fight for me.
Or just be like, I need a discount on these health upgrades, and I'm gonna buy them all the way up to 9, and then run through this area, getting shot at.
We trigger the EMP bomb, which is actually when Ryan actually starts to get nervous, which is one of my favorite things. Is that when you trigger the EMP bomb, Ryan's like, oh, okay, you're actually getting farther than I thought you were going to get.
Still taunting you, of course. Though,
but... and he does straight up do the whole, if I can't have my castle, you can't either, and burns it down and starts to blow up the city.
Very much like in League with the burn the forest down rants, as before, like thematically tied to Ryan as a character.
Yeah, he literally gives a... We're going to talk about when we get to this twist coming up, all the references that are led up to this event, because he does do the whole, like, they told me I had to give the forest to the state for a park, so I burned the forest down.
If I have to give Rapture to Fontaine, I'm going to burn Rapture down. He doesn't say that specifically, but that's what this is.
At this point, he has actually now figured out who you are too. Because up until this point, he keeps referring to you like, at first he thought you were part of the KGB or the CIA, and then he was like, you're working with Atlas. And now at this point...
You belong to Atlas.
At this point, he's like, I know who you are. And this triggers the big event in which we are finally in Ryan's office. After doing some sneaking, we end up in this little room that directly gives away what's about to happen. Now, if I knew the twist... You were vaguely aware of the twist.
I knew "Would you kindly" was a code word that I believed. I didn't know it was like full on mind control. I thought it would just be like, "Would you like it's an influence thing, like kind of the Purple Man from Marvel Comics."
Yeah,
where he like says something and you're compelled, like, I should do this.
It's straight up the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, it's like a code word. Your Jason Bourne code.
The moment it's said, you literally are required to follow whatever follows that statement.
Ready to comply.
Yeah, basically. And so when we actually see this little shrine that has "Would you kindly" written on it, and it has a lot of the players that you've been dealing with. It has a photo of Atlas on the wall. It has a photo of the doctor or the lady who Tenenbaum, who's the doctor who also invented the Little Sisters.
Who's going to play a very important part
Big
later.
part coming up.
Yeah.
And then it has another doctor that you're about to meet a lot of, a Japanese doctor or Chinese doctor. That's going to be kind of the big helping create you, basically.
The audio log with the dog
Yeah.
is so chilling.
Where he's like, you like the puppy? Kill the puppy. Or would you kindly kill the puppy? And then it's
neck.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. And you feel like these are horrible people. When you get into the office and you have the face-to-face with Ryan.
The twist is already laid out. You kind of, at least for me, had pieced it mostly together at this point. Especially when Ryan straight up says when you enter the area, and when he's doing his big villain speech, he's like, "Does your master hear this?" So
it's one thing I've been wanting to talk to you about for since before when we started playing this. You noticed the tattoos, right?
the chains,
yeah, on your hand. It directly gives away the fact that you're a prisoner to this whole thing.
It's also reminding me of in Bioshock Infinite, Booker has AD on his hand too. So, there's a whole imagery in Infinite. Not to go any details into Infinite because that's for a different day probably.
We're spoiling that. We only spoil the game we're talking about.
There's symbolism in that game with a bird and a cage.
Yes.
The bird is free. The cage is imprisonment.
Yeah.
And that whole symbolism with that game. So I thought it was a chain. It didn't connect the dots until
that you're a straight up prisoner.
Yeah.
And when you have the speech with Ryan, Ryan's detonating the city around you, and it's such a great villain moment because when you run into him, he's on the putting green in his office.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole conversation when he's it fits Ryan. People I remember when I first played this, a lot of people that I was friends with at the time were so confused on why Ryan would let you kill him or make you kill him. And he could just say, "Would you kindly go walk off a cliff and you would die?" And I was because for Ryan, it so matters to him to be right and better than you that it's the ultimate fuck you kind of situation to be I am so much better than you. I am not a slave like you are. I will prove it to you with my death.
A man chooses a slave obeys. I'm going to choose to die. And you're going to kill me because I told you to.
Yes.
Not because you want to. Even if you may want to. But I'm going to tell you to do it.
You were there to kill him. But he takes away any of your agency the moment he says, "Would you kindly?"
He dies and you feel like you lose.
Yes.
Because you kill him. I tried to weigh it out. I was waiting for an audio change. Something get over here or something, when the bit where he's "Would you kindly come to me?" and you have to walk over to him. I was I'm just gonna stand here, see what happens. I play in video games. There's gonna be something funny that happens. Wait there for a few minutes and go, "Oh no, it's not gonna I have to do it."
And it's a commentary on video games in themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Video games are all about presenting you a choice that's not a choice. You go down the hallway because the designer makes you go down the hallway, not because you actually choose to go down the hallway, right? You trigger the event because that's the way you progress the game. And so it is a commentary on video games in itself.
There's games that kind of play on that whole thing too, like a Spec Ops: The Line does that.
Yeah, Spec Ops: The Line. I would love to play Spec Ops: The Line.
That's the only thing I know about that game is that it handles the tropes like that. I don't know much about.
I
won't talk about.
I love Spec Ops: The Line. Yeah. We're gonna play that eventually. No, and it comes out around this time. It's a little bit later than Bioshock, but it's definitely, it's got some great stuff.
Any game that points a mirror at the game that you're playing is
and how you interact with it.
So effective. I thought. We played another game that did this, Metal Gear Solid 3. There's a bit where you're walking past all the dead soldiers that you killed and everything. But this handles it much more effectively because it's not just you pressing forward and look at all the people you did, and you're just they shot at me. I literally had no choice there.
It's also where you figured out that you killed somebody.
No, it wasn't. I didn't find out because he wasn't there. Because that was apparently an alternate timeline. I won't get.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, that was some.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Never trigger the time paradox on a no-kill run. That's all I'll say. I just wanted to laugh at an Easter egg, and then it costed me in.
See, that's why you never trust the Easter eggs. No, it's such a great moment. It's one of my favorite video game moments.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
The brutality of how he dies with you beating him to death.
It's not just one swing.
It's like 5 or 4.
A man, over and over, a man chooses, a slave obeys, rubbing it in your face.
Smack. Man chooses, a slave obeys. Smack. Like, he just keeps coming back until you finally kill him by embedding the damn thing in his head.
So good.
And the crazy thing is, like, at this point you've realized what the twist is. You know, the would you kindly, like, he lays it out, what your code
Would you
word
kindly
is.
stand up? Would you kindly sit down?
First thing that Atlas / Fontaine does is say, would you kindly put his code thing into the city thing and stop it? And, like, you don't want to do it because you're like, no, screw you, I get it now. But the only way to progress the game is to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you still obey, even though because the character can't do anything about it. He has to obey.
You can't progress the game. You can't go back. You can't go forward unless you
obey.
Do this.
You play.
And as you're playing this game as a player, you're like, am I making this choice because this is the only way to progress, or am I still being mind controlled? It's a great writing.
It's a great commentary on video games.
It's a great twist. I wish I knew nothing about it but it's like a 14-year-old game at this point, and I know a lot about video games and listen to a lot about video games.
You care about video games, you're going to hear the something about it, at least. No matter how careful you are.
Or if you know that even would you kindly is a phrase that is of importance, you're going to pick up on stuff.
Yeah. You're going to realize... I played this before. I played it when it came out. I did not know the twist. The would you kindly stuff, you don't realize it until you know the twist, how often it's used. Mm-hmm. And how it's always used in front of a command. Would you kindly go in there and kill the bastard?
Would you kindly help me?
Will you kindly help me get my family out of here? Would you kindly go to... Fort Frolic and try to get into the hero. It's always this and then the action you need to take. And when the big twist is that, of course, also that Fontaine is Atlas. And this was all a plan by him just to take over Rapture. It's just two assholes fighting over Rapture.
I do want to say one thing in regards to the twists. Something unrelated. I did pep band for my... college basketball team, so playing like music during like the timeouts and interludes and stuff, and we would always like whenever the opposing team was like near our section, whenever they were making foul shots, we would yell and everything. There was one guy making foul shots named Andrew Ryan, so in the dead of quiet I yelled, "Would you kindly miss?" No one got it, and I was bummed.
Miss?
No, I don't. Damn. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't remember that. I was just like, someone, no. I was like, come on, somebody, please, just acknowledge. There was one guy probably who probably not him.
Somebody laughed.
I got you.
You basically have just succeeded in taking over Rapture for Fontaine. There's a great moment when Fontaine obviously betrays you. He's like, well, you're not needed anymore. See you, kid. He instantly, his real voice is just a straight up like...
The mask straight comes off. It was me the whole... That got me. I had no idea that Atlas was going to be Fontaine. There's an audio log earlier on. I can't remember exactly where, but they're like, Fontaine's Rebellion. I was like, I know Atlas was reading Rebellion. Fontaine was reading a Rebellion too. How many rebellions was going on? And then I was like, oh, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay. That got me. I did not expect him to be Fontaine.
My favorite thing is, okay, like, he sends in all the security bots in to kill you. And who comes to a rescue but the little sister? Who's like, follow me, follow me.
If you didn't save them, would this play out the same?
I don't know, because who's a bastard who didn't save the kids?
I watched the other endings because I had to know, because that was never going to...
We'll talk about that.
But
yeah. I do wonder, because we all saved the kids because we're good human beings. But it's
the listener.
unless you didn't.
Well, some people want that achievement. I guess there's an achievement.
So
I don't know.
You are kill children for achievement.
How close am I to that?
How close are you to that achievement? Gotta get that.
Get that 1,000. I'm that close.
But it is cool, like following the little sister, like dodging the security things, and you basically get to Tenenbaum, who basically is only able to remove the most fundamental statement, which is the would you kindly is no longer a trigger for you, but you are still not like out of the woods.
Just that bit where he's trying to control when you start moving through the next area, which is Olympus Heights. You see like scribblings on the walls. This is like Atlas is watching, implying that you're not the first like agent of Fontaine. So he's trying to do would you kindly and everything, trying to like mess you up. And he's like, oh, okay, don't worry, I gotta back up this code yellow, and then all your health upgrades just go away
because he literally stops your heart.
Right? So good.
This is when there's a great... I want to talk about also the little section where all the little sisters are. Mm-hmm. It is pretty satisfying because as somebody who's been like rescuing the little sisters and stuff, to like have them all sitting around, they're all like playing and laughing, and you feel like you've been doing like something good on your own.
I contributed.
Yeah, like I helped some of these kids.
Yeah.
And you see them like happy and in like a safe little spot.
It's a feeling of, it's the one moment of peace and calm in the game. Yeah, at this point,
because it's like a safe zone for all these little kids and stuff. And Tenenbaum behind the glass, because this game never lets you actually face to face with someone.
Unless it's Ryan.
Unless it's somebody you're gonna kill. But I do like the fact that he starts off with like, "Hey, would you kindly go get stepped on by Big Daddy?" And then you don't do it. And he's like, "Wait a second." And then he's like, "Yeah, code Gala," and all your health upgrades. The mind control stuff affecting your gameplay is cool and fascinating.
I like that bit a lot. Very Metal Gear almost, like how...
Yeah. One of the big things is we're going to now go and get the ability to cure ourselves of all this mind control. Now, this is going to do two things. One is we're going to get to explore the... kind of the living quarters of all of these characters we've been dealing with, right? So we'll go into like the high-end apartments of Rapture, basically.
Artemis Suites is the area name.
Which is Tenenbaum's house is in that area. Sandra Cohen's house is in that area. Obviously, Fontaine lived there.
This seems like the ground zero for the disaster zone of when everything started to go bad, being a populated area. Just because... there is a lot of pictures of people like on the walls, especially like in the connecting areas, and I couldn't figure out if those were missing people or if those were honoring the deceased.
If you remember, there's lots of talk about shootings down at the square, and people trying to get out, and Ryan's guards killing people and not letting them escape. I think this is probably like the main thoroughfare out of Rapture.
Yeah.
And so, as things were deteriorating in Rapture, this is probably where people were going to flee to get out of there. It's also like, it seems like the nice part of town, because this is where all these like big movers and shakers of Rapture live.
When you got your letter directly from Andrew Ryan, this is where you would be set up as.
Yeah. If Ryan personally brought you to Rapture, this is where you probably are. You know, there's the guillotines set up where they've hung people for the gallows, not the guillotines, the gallows, for trying to escape. Like, you can tell, like, this is like Ryan desperately trying to cling on to his freaking control. Like, everyone's trying
need to whack a few heads to like
suppress
the rebellion, and then it'll all just go away. Everything will be fine.
If all these cowards would not think it's such a big deal that those crazy people throwing fire out of their hands, burning people, maybe we could get this back under control. Why is wrong with you people? It's just a couple of homicides. You know, it's that. I freaking love exploring the apartment complexes. You don't have to go to all of the apartments, but there's so much stuff in here. Cohen's house is fascinating. Going into Sandra Cohen's house because we just killed him, but like, it fits. It fits. When you go in there, there's a couple dancing in his house to music, and if you walk by them, nothing happens. But underneath the record player, I think it's a health upgrade. I think, or health pack.
Yeah.
If you take it, the record player falls and the music cuts, and they attack you. It is such a cool moment of them. Like, I watched them, like, because I'm real careful of them, because I can tell they're fucked up. So I had like my pistol out and I'm like walking by them, and I'm like, oh, I guess nothing's gonna happen here. And I look over, I was like, oh, health
upgrade.
And then the record player falls, and there's a pause where they just stare at each other, and then they turn to you and they're like, ah! It's like, oh god, bam, bam, bam.
When it comes to like the environment and everything, it's probably the most dense game that I can think of, just because every piece of the environment has to be connected to the overall story in some way. That every single room of this game tells a story.
Oh yeah.
And you can sometimes track through lines through different areas of stories. We talked about in like the first bit where you get one about how some daughter was taken away. Then you find the room and you see that place where the suicide took place. That's just one narrative in this game, and this game is littered with them to the point where I don't think they're, for most people, you're not going to see them all in a single playthrough.
Replayability on this game is huge.
Oh, I want to play this game again at some point. Probably the remaster version,
which is so beautiful. I wish you would.
The 360 version still looks really good.
Yeah, but man, it's so beautiful.
I bet.
Does
go hectic in fights, and there's some motion blur going on there. But...
yeah, see, I know that was affecting me.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to talk about is one of the apartments is just the abandoned apartments, and there's one in which there was a bunch of dead little sisters on a couple of the couches, and you walk in and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? And there's just one lady in there, and there's no like obvious explanation on what's going on, but obviously you can tell that this is someone who's been killing little sisters as they've, either for the atom or for some other crazy shit. But it's just this little bit of environmental storyline that told you a little, or asked the question of what's going on, that there's no reason you had to go in there. But it's just this little extra little bit of story. The fact that, like, Sandra Cohen, we killed him chapters ago. But it's like, here's his apartment. You can still learn something about this guy that you killed.
Yeah.
So much great environmental story in here. There's not a lot, like, main story-wise to talk about, because you get one of the upgrades to one of the cures, but it has a side effect that it randomly triggers your plasmids. Your plasmids.
And even ones you don't already have yet. I'm like, I almost wish this was, like, for more of the game, just because I had fun, like, adapting on the fly. I mean, that was my favorite part, besides, like, the final bosses, my favorite moment of combat in this section, just because I had to rely on whatever I had, and that was a lot of fun.
I had so much fun, because, like, at one point I was in a fight, and I only had, like, the hypnotized Big Daddy.
Same.
And I'm in this big fight, and all of a sudden it switches to the freeze. And it does it, like, right at the perfect time for me to go, and freeze somebody and be like, haha, motherfuckers. Iceman fucking here now. But it's a cool moment. I love that this game uses the dealing with your control to also affect your gameplay. And it does it in a way that's not annoying. When you finally do get cured, you're at the point where you're actually going after Fontaine. And Fontaine, over the radio, you've realized he's been juicing with Adam. One thing I also noticed, Fontaine was living the high life before all of this. Like, Fontaine was always an asshole who was just like, it's just two freaking big wig assholes who were fighting over this place. Because when you get to his apartment,
you're in the middle of a slap fight between rich people who want more power.
It's just Jeffrey Bezos and Elon Musk punching each other.
It's like the current space race.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, I'm going to space first. But it's the second Bezos reference in this show.
Two more than I would have liked, but
Yeah,
here we are. Anyway,
but it threw me off. This trigger is one of the best / worst sections in this game.
Point Prometheus.
Fun fact, I found the boots to become the Big Daddy way before I was supposed to. And she just goes, "What are these doing here? Why are you got them?" Because the game...
yeah, they're separated from the other pieces.
And you're supposed to find a log that tells you where they are. Mm-hmm. I was just exploring, and I found the boots. And she's straight up like, "Why are these boots here?" So I got the first upgrade way before I was supposed to. It's cool that it's there.
Yeah.
That you can do it.
There's a sense of... That's one of the only beats of like non-linearity of this game, I guess.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of it there, but
basically the story is you got to become a Big Daddy to get access.
Because you need a little sister to open the door to get to Fontaine.
Yeah. And we learn about the creation of the Big Daddies.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cool kind of facts is that they smell terrible, and no one knows why the little sisters don't mind. One of the things they really nail is the relationship between little sisters and Big Daddies. From how little sisters talk to the Big Daddy, like, "Hey, it's Mr. B." You can tell that, like, in their mind, and like you look at the posters in the creation zone for the little sisters, like the way they picture Big Daddies is completely different than what they actually are. Like, they look like happy cartoon characters, and this is something that if you play Bioshock 2. Bioshock 2 really digs deep into like Big Daddy little sister relationships.
That's the part of this game that fascinates me, and if I play another Bioshock, it will be probably 2 next. Just because
2 has a lot of playing as a Big Daddy in it.
Mm-hmm. Does it also cut off like the corners of your vision?
No.
Yeah. They took that away for the final boss fight in this game. They're just like, okay, we need to...
No story reason either. But no, I like the fact that the boots make you sound heavy. The suit gives you damage buffs. And then the helmet obviously covers your vision a little bit.
And instantly you have a deeper connection with the little sisters. Because they are immediately... They're not afraid of you anymore. They're...
And they also
actively helping
you.
Like
they talk to the Big Daddy, like, "Come
on,
Mr.
Bubbles.
It's time for bedtime, Mr. Bubbles."
The best and worst part of this game is exactly right. Is how you phrase it.
I love getting the suit together because I love learning about the process of making the Big Daddies. And
the factory.
The factory where they make them, and like the cells where they were making the little sisters and stuff. All that was fascinating. The problem was the escort mission. I lost 2 little sisters in this, and this is just like father Eric coming out. It's really weird to see little kids get killed in video games, and it feels a little weird how they do it here, because it's like, "Oh no, you lost a little sister, go get another one."
I like that, like, you have to use your brain on the gate where they appear from. Because you don't just hit A and, like, punch it for a little sister to come out. You gotta go, "Oh, I need my wrench." Because every time you see the Big Daddy, like, knock on the door to get the little sisters out. So it relies on you having to think back and go, "Okay, I'm gonna pull out my wrench. Ding, ding, ding." And then one comes out. I was like, that's a really cool beat there.
You basically just guide her through a little museum where those test subjects set up.
The Proving Grounds is all, like, museum.
And the weird thing is, the little sisters no longer look like they did before. For me, because I had rescued the little sisters, but they still have the desire to do like the job that they do, and it's just defend the little sister basically as you do all this stuff. And I get the premise of it. It's like, now you get to see what it's like to be a Big Daddy, but it was such a game. It killed the momentum. We were moving. We were after Fontaine.
It's so slow,
and it's so slow. You do the classic video game thing of do the action 3 times.
I moved too fast, and she's stuck way back calling, "Hey, hurry up." And I'm like, "I'm ahead of you. Just keep going forward."
I never had that issue.
Yeah.
But it's not good. And like I said, I didn't like the fact that you get a child dies and you just go get another one.
Yeah,
Like it just set weird for me, and that might just be like dad in me, but like it just felt so like callous because especially my ending was all about rescuing these children.
I get that, yeah.
And it felt like a child just died. We shouldn't just be like, go get another one.
But that's also like Tenenbaum too, being like the scientist.
But she's like trying to change her ways. Like
she developed a connection with the little sisters. But yeah,
it just felt weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I don't. At the same time, an instant game over wouldn't be better either. But maybe the right answer is not to have to do this.
The right amount of emotional involvement should have been he should have just stopped. You should have put your hand on your head and just shake your head.
That, my friends, is called a callback. Okay. Okay.
I like Dead Space as much as I make fun of that game.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. So this all leads up to the classic boss fight.
You get to the room before the boss fight too, where it's like, here's every upgrade you could want. Use all your money.
Buy all the guns. Buy all the ammo. Buy all the shotgun shells. And you go up the ladder or the elevator to finally have the fight with Fontaine.
The exposition dump about your origin and everything here.
He gave... I like the fact that he constantly kind of like... He talks about like, I know this is crazy, but you're kind of like as close to a son as I've ever had. So I hate to do this, but...
I gotta kill you.
Gotta be like this, Sonny.
So you were raised by him. You were sent off on a sub when you were 2. Which makes me question, how long has Rapture been here? I thought it was like a few years old.
I've always wondered that because at first I thought that Rapture was like a quickly failed experiment. But like...
It's been here for at least like 30 years? I imagine Jack, which I found out is the main character's name.
Yeah.
Was here for... I assume he's about 30. He's...
I now have on my hard drive Burial at Sea, which is the Bioshock Infinite DLC that takes place in Rapture during Rapture's non-collapse. So I wonder when I play that if that will explain the timeline of Rapture a little bit more.
Does it take place in like when Rapture starts to fall too?
Yeah, but it's before the fall.
Gotcha.
And you play as like it's like a. My understanding is it's like a private detective like noir story with like noir version of Elizabeth.
I was in for all the trailers of that DLC, and then it was like, oh, it's 2 parts, $15 each. I'm like, $30 for like a 4-hour equivalent of a game. I'll wait till that's cheaper. I never went around.
I paid $10 for all the Bioshock that exists. $10. Did
you ever play Burial at Sea, or did you?
No, I've not. I've played Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite. I've never played any of the DLC for any of them. So now I might go back and play
Minerva's Den,
and I might go back and play Burial at Sea. So I'm going to try to fit around with
It's
those.
interesting that the DLC is something I'm more compelled in to play than the full games themselves at this point.
Minerva's Den is very, very popular and apparently very, very good if you remember the Giant Bomb War.
I remember the Giant Bomb War.
As veterans of the Giant Bomb War. Thank you for your service, Michael. I appreciate you saluted.
I hate that I did that.
That made me very happy.
Yeah, Team Shadow Broker all day, every day.
Yeah, Shadow Broker's better.
Yeah, I've never even played it, but Shadow Broker's better.
It's a damn good DLC.
You can't convince me otherwise.
But I'm gonna play Burial at Sea. Just maybe they'll give me some more information about the timeline.
Mm-hmm. So you were manipulated to come back here and help Fontaine gain power over Rapture. So were you like, you were a failsafe, I guess?
He sent a letter. Because if one of the flashes show that there's a letter and a gun. So basically, it's almost like he triggered you to come back.
It is the Manchurian Candidate thing, yeah.
He is, okay, boy, it's time. And you brought down the plane, which is something that Ryan talks about. Like, there's too many perfect things lined up to bring you here.
Did you think the plane was a coincidence or something?
You brought it down. You did all this. It's always was you.
It's
right.
A dark twist on like the prodigal son story.
Yeah.
Which
Fontaine literally has turned himself into the statue from the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
like the when you look up like the cover for like the Atlas Shrugged too, is very much that.
It's the statue on the cover of Atlas Shrugs.
Yeah.
Which is the main influence for the philosophy of Ryan in this game. The boss fight is not bad. I wiped this guy's... I kicked his ass.
I died once, and that was because I thought I had 2 more phases. So I was running around trying to grab ammunition, and I was like, no, okay, I'm just going to play it out this time. I only had 1 more phase, and went, oh, his last phase was easy.
When I walked
That was a
when I walked into this arena, I go, this arena is custom built for Eric to kick his ass. Because I play, I play so much fucking Doom. This is just a big arena where I can circle strafe. And I circle strafe the fuck out of this guy. He didn't stand a chance.
This boss fight, the boss fight I thought was very well designed because it is built to account for every playstyle. If you're good with guns, you can, like, as you said, circle strafe around. Or if you use plasmids, you can set traps. Because there's a water area you can lead him into and then shock him and then shoot him. There is canisters where you can use gravity on and throw it at him. So I was using mostly plasmids during this battle. There's oil on the floor you can do it with. It was like how... Have you ever played Deus Ex Human Revolution?
No. Wait, is that the first of the new...
First of
yes,
the... Okay.
I did play that one.
There was... In the original release, there was a problem with the boss fights in that game because they outsourced it to where if you played stealth, those boss fights were a problem because they accounted for action.
You had to... And also, I believe, you had to kill them, correct? And which was a problem because the game otherwise lets you be non-lethal.
Exactly. Yeah, so you had to, kill them. But if you had only non-lethal weapons like a tranquilizer gun and a stun gun, you're kind of
screwed.
You have to, use the grenades around the environment to make it work for your advantage. This felt like what those boss fights should have been. In a way, they account for every possible playstyle you can have. It was really... I really liked the design. It is a good final boss. It's
not so hard that it's frustrating. Like, for me, I wiped the floor with him because, like I said, this is dude... I survived the Blood Swamps in Doom Eternal's DLC. You ain't gonna beat me. When it comes to straight up, give me all the ammo and let me just fight, I'm gonna wipe the floor with you.
Do you know what happens when you die?
No.
You get booed to the main menu.
You're kidding.
You get booed to the main menu.
Really?
Yep. There's no Vita chamber or anything. It's just the screen goes black and it says, Bioshock!
That's shocking.
I was
okay, cool.
I thought there was a Vita chamber. I was like, they can't Vita chamber the final boss. I'm wondering what happened here.
You sure that's not a glitch?
No, it's meant to happen because I imagine it's the point. We can't have you Vita chamber on the last boss, but we didn't design a checkpoint system. Boot to the menu.
All right,
and take this autosave here. I'm like, why didn't you just load the autosave whenever?
Yeah, why didn't? That's so weird.
Because that would involve designing a checkpoint system.
I guess.
And if that happens, you'll be like, why didn't you just let me checkpoint the rest of the game with all the ammunition?
I feel like somebody backed themselves into a corner with that, didn't they? But it's a simple process. Beat him in his 4 phases. Stab him with the little sister knife.
They say stab the bad man or something.
Well, at one point they come out and help you.
Yeah.
And but my favorite thing is after the fight, he's doing his little mocking, and who actually takes down Fontaine is not you. It's the little sisters who jump him, and they'll, kill him. Stab the bad man. And, you watch as this, jacked up statue guy gets killed by a bunch of little kids with syringes.
And they come and say, they're the real heroes of this game. They, save, you'd be dead without them. Fontaine would be running around ruin Rapture if it wasn't for them, so.
And they give you the card, and basically you have the
key to the city.
The key to the city, and in our ending, because you also saved the little kids.
Of course, yeah.
You choose to destroy Rapture or escape Rapture.
Yeah.
And you save all the little kids. You have the heart, statement where all the kids get to grow up and get married and have children and live happy lives. And then when you die, you get to die with all the
hands emerge of all different ages and finally they grow old, they got married, they had kids of their own. You become a surrogate grandfather.
Here's my final note.
So good.
In the end, we really was the real Big Daddy.
I'm done. Good night, everybody. This podcast is over. I'm shutting it down. Executive decision.
I was so proud of that last note. No, but it's a cute ending, dude. I thought it was kind of
weird. I don't know how it handles it in your game, but I don't remember there being like credits after this. It does it and then boots you to the menu.
Those credits after this.
I may have forgot, but
it's just a credit sequence and just shows the lighthouse. Nothing fancy.
Gotcha. Because it does. Because I was like, this wrapped up really fast. Like it didn't like fade to the credits or anything. Like have like a music scene. It was like, here's the last cut scene, and we're done. Good night, everybody.
It does wrap up fast. It's just like
it wasn't what I was expecting because Infinite has that game. That game takes like an hour to end, and that sounds like a problem. But really, Infinite's ending is amazing.
Is beautiful, but Infinite's ending,
I was expecting something more like that, like an ending you play through.
This is more of a like straight up like here's an ending to the story. Infinite asks you questions at the end because Infinite's ending is kind of open ended. You talk about like what do you actually think happened at the end. While Bioshock,
that's a water cooler game for sure.
Bioshock's ending is more like, and this is the end.
Mm-hmm.
While Infinite's more like, so what do you think happened?
They're interesting reversals on itself because Bioshock asks a lot of questions during the game, but the ending is relatively closed. Infinite is mostly a straightforward tale until you get to the end of that game. Because even with the crazy sci-fi stuff happening in Infinite, the through line is very much something you can like focus on. You and Elizabeth together escape is kind of the through line of that game. The end throws so many. It's like the opposite. All the questions come at the end versus Bioshock. All the questions are happening during the course of the game.
I don't want to come across sarcastic. There is stuff in Infinite that starts to ask questions a little bit earlier than that. Then I think you might remember.
You're probably right.
Comstock and his relationship to Booker goes on for maybe about halfway through the game, and that's when you start to deal with some of the.
Yeah, I haven't played that since 2015, so you're probably right.
The only reason why I'm not trying to. You're not wrong.
Because when I'm thinking of that game and that story, I think of Booker and Elizabeth. That is the story.
You're right, and that's all at the end.
Okay.
The problem is Comstock and Booker's relationship kicks in about halfway through the game, and the only reason I'm fresh on that is because I beat that thing last year.
Okay.
And you're right. You are right. I'm not trying to be like, no.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, yeah.
The one exception to that rule is Comstock. And he's very important for you to understand the ending. But that all takes place about halfway through Infinite.
That's true. Okay.
So that's the only exception to that. But you are right. Infinite is more about what's left at the end of the game, while Bioshock is more about what's asked during the game. But it fits also the characters. In Infinite, you're dealing with you are more of a mover and shaker.
You're also not a blank slate.
Yes.
Booker is his own character.
Booker is a character. He's a big character, and he affects the world around him. I would make the argument Booker affects the world around him more than Elizabeth.
I would say that. So, in other words, what you're saying is we should play Bioshock Infinite at some point. For
Infinite's a fascinating game. Infinite's a fascinating game.
When I think of Infinite, I think of that is one of my favorite stories in video games, but it's also been a long time since I played it.
Infinite's great. It doesn't play as well as Bioshock in my mind. And I like the gameplay and the style of Bioshock more than I like Infinite's. But that's all. They're both great video games.
Oh yeah, this is a really good game, and for a game that came out in 2007, I believe it held up extremely well. Playing through it basically for the first time.
Now, you played the original version.
Yes.
Real quick, just talking about the remastered edition. It's a great remastered. Not only do you get all the director commentary stuff that you can find throughout the game, there's also a museum in the game.
Oh, I love it when things do that. Like, where you can, like, walk around.
And it has, like, all the prototypes for, like, they actually have the models of the versions of what the Big Daddies were going to look like.
Oh,
and
like
them,
like the 360 build or no, the original Xbox build of this game. Oh,
the
man.
different models.
Oh, I would lose my mind.
Actually, before you leave, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, please. I want to look at this stuff.
It has the original version of the splicers. What the splicers were going to look like. There's a lot of old concept art. There's some. It's a beautiful, like, I walked around and just looked at stuff. And it's done in that museum style, kind of like if you ever played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, they had the museum after.
And then you could trigger the button and have to fight everybody. But I always love when games do that. And in this, it's a really beautiful, like, for me, I had a great time, like, looking at the model and being like, oh, dude, like, this actually looks kind of pretty cool. Or seeing where they would, like, start in, like, there was some of the models with the Big Daddy. I'm like, this never would have played. That's not Big Daddy. Or the little sister, like, little sisters were going to be slugs at one point.
What? All right, cool.
But
that's a choice.
It's some crazy.
Because that goes back to how the hierarchy of this was a system. The systems were built for this game first, and then everything kind of built its way around it, which seems crazy when you actually play it, because when you're playing it, you think, oh, they came up with this world and idea first, and everything around it kind of fit together in a way. But no, the story came later. It was like an afterthought to, like, the systems, which sounds like I'm putting it down, but that's a praise more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, they pulled this off, and it wasn't the first thing they thought.
They did a great job.
This game is
it's
fantastic. I can call this game a classic.
It's a classic.
Absolutely. One of the tent poles of video games.
EGM once did a
timeless story of good and evil, one would say.
EGM once did a top 200 video games of all time issue.
Mm-hmm.
If I did a top 200 video games of all time today, Bioshock would be in there. It's a great video game. It's a classic. It's a must-play for everybody who enjoys video games. And I will say this, the remastered edition is a beautiful way to play it. You're not going to miss out on anything. And that thing's on sale all the freaking time.
Oh, yeah.
So buy the remaster. You can get all 3 of the Bioshock games.
That's
the DLC.
a deal.
It's a fucking great deal. Michael, I really enjoyed playing this.
I really liked Bioshock as well.
I've really enjoyed this. Any final closing statements on Bioshock?
I'm impressed with the scale and the denseness of the story in this game, and how it's not a story in a traditional sense. You have to work to get... I think we said this last time. You get what you put into Bioshock, and I felt like I put in a decent amount of Bioshock, so I got a great experience back. This is a game, if you admire, like, first-person shooters, action RPGs, or storytelling in games in general, you need to look, or there's many games that came out, like, recently that owe a lot to Bioshock. Like, we were talking about Alan Wake. Those letters that you get that expand the story you can argue go back to Bioshock, but you can also argue those go back to, like, Resident Evil with, like, the note pages and everything. But Bioshock, its presentation is the star of the show here.
Oh yeah.
And this game is still visually stunning, even the 360 version to this day, because of its aesthetic, the way the systems play with each other in the terms of, like, the enemy archetypes is still very interesting to this day. This game was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, and because of that, I think it holds up better than a lot of the games around the beginning of the 360 era do, when they were trying to figure out how to make games in HDs. It took Japanese developers up until this past generation to figure out the HD era of games design and stuff, and what people want from that era of video games. But I'm going off on a tangent here, much like a Fontaine would at this point. But this was a really good game, and I had a really fun time talking about it. I think this is a game you need to talk about to somebody to get the most out of it.
Yeah, the more you speak about it, the more you think about it, the more you enjoy it.
It was like a similar vein to a Bastion.
Yes.
Like, I liked Bastion. Then when we talked about it, I loved Bastion.
Yes.
And I think this game is fitting
starts
a
a
similar
conversation.
bump for me. Exactly. Any game I can talk about in depth for about 3 hours on end and just with constant praise has to be a great game.
My last closing statements on Bioshock is, one, it created one of the most flushed out words that I have encountered in any media. I read a lot of books, I've watched a lot of movies, stuff like that, but like, if you would tell me the words in, like, you know, in fiction that you really have thought about a lot, and there are places that just, when you think about them in your mind, you just instantly have this in-depth picture of them. Rapture is one of those places. And, like, I never want to see Rapture in any other media. So there was a lot of talk for a long time about a Bioshock movie.
There still is talk about Bioshock movie.
I never want to see that. Rapture and the story of Bioshock is so connected to video games and what a video game is telling you as a player and playing a game, that it just wouldn't, in my mind, does not translate to a film. It's like how sometimes I'll read a book. I'm looking over there at a book called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn. I think, is it Hardcastle? I think it's Hardcastle. It might be. I can't see it from this distance. But when I read that book, like, I never want to see a miniseries on that book. It works so well as a book. Like, some places you just don't want to, like, it fits the media it was designed for. Bioshock, going back to it, I still enjoyed it just as much as the day I played it when I came out on the 360. It's a classic, and it's one of my favorite games we've done for this show. Let's talk about what we're going to do next, though.
Oh, man. Talk about a seismic shift in not only quality, but of
we're gonna
storytelling.
do some shit.
But arguably stronger historical significance.
Okay,
this started out as a joke, and it ended up being real.
Don't make jokes with me, man.
Much like Sonic Adventure.
Yes.
This is not Sonic Adventure. This is something else. I'll let you introduce this one.
I'm not even going to bury the lead. We're going to do a one-shot episode on Night Trap.
Usually we're like, play along, but I strongly advise you not to play along.
Do we have a YouTube channel? Do we own the YouTube channel rights?
Well, I haven't made one yet. We have a Twitch, but I haven't made a YouTube channel. This is some inside baseball right here.
We either need to cut this out, or we need to secure the rights to State of the Saves YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I should probably cut that because someone on here could just make one.
Yeah, that's
now,
what I'm saying.
So.
Okay, either that or we need to secure it.
I'll secure it before this goes live.
Yeah,
How
let's do that. But part of me wonders if we should, like, record all playthrough of State of Night Trap and put it on YouTube. But me and Michael are going to play we're going to invite Nick. Hopefully Nick will be able to be with us too. And we're all just going to sit down and play through Night Trap and then record an episode on it. Night Trap is more interesting if you take the context of what was happening in the historical context.
Usually I frame the history before we go into a game so we can take that into account. But with a game like Night Trap, the game is the history.
The game itself, it's a good example of blowing something out of proportion.
Like a bully, if you will.
Like a bully.
Except to a greater effect. Bully didn't create an entire rating system.
This made the rating system.
This and Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Also, this is a game. It's a 4-motion video. We know this is a shitty game.
Congratulations to the Sega CD for finally making it into the pantheon of Stay of the Save games we played.
But
one day we'll play a Dreamcast. We will play a Dreamcast game, actually. Yeah, we have one on the docket.
We're going to play a Dreamcast game. But the reason why I wanted to do it, Michael put it on there as a joke.
Like, hey, it's on sale for $5.
One is, I want to play Night Trap. I didn't buy Night Trap. I need to buy Night Trap.
Hurry before it... I don't know how long that sale is. We should probably get it before it goes back to 15, because... 5 or 6 is easy as well. 15 for haha. Look at this funny joke.
Shit. We're gonna look at some stores after this too. But like, the reason why I wanted to play Night Trap is because, one, the historical context we're going to talk a lot about. 2, it's it's a game that you hear referenced so much. Like, people talk about, like, Night Trap when they talk about video games. But, like, I've never actually sat down and played it myself and forced myself to experience what's going on. Also, you were saying that it looks like it's going to have a documentary on the version, too, that we can watch. So we're gonna kind of do, like, a little bit of...
Someone posted that whole thing from the game on YouTube. But
Okay.
I kind of want to... I don't know if I should play... We should play it first before we watch it, or...
I think we should play it.
That should be a required watch before. If you're at home and don't want to play Night Trap... There are some required watching and not reading. I would say watch a little bit of the Howard Lincoln trials, or the Howard Lincoln Senate hearing between Sega versus Nintendo. Yeah, you have the lawyers for Sega and Nintendo in a courtroom. Nintendo being like, we have like a system where we censor games and stuff. Sega over here is doing whatever they want to. And then Sega pulling out a Super Scope and be like, what is this? And they go, that's a gun. Yes, this is literally a gun that you're selling to children.
We're going to talk about more panics.
Yeah, exactly.
More panics fascinate me. Mm-hmm. I love comics. Comics have what was called the when the comics created what was called the Comics Code. It was around a book called Seduction of the Innocent, in which this psychologist wrote a book where he claimed that comics led to the downfall of children's minds, and it made them evil and promoted all this bad stuff. And more panics constantly happen. We're not past it today. I mean, fucking Little Nas releases some tennis shoes, and then moms all over the world are freaking mad at Nike.
Congratulations, you made him trend.
Yeah, good job, Little Nas. I mean, I kind of wanted some of those shoes. I ain't gonna lie. Fuck, let me give you some of these shoes. Resale value is gonna be out the freaking wazoo over here.
Gonna be rich.
But like, we're gonna talk about it because, like I said, that fascinates me, the concept of moral panics. Mm-hmm. And what if you actually go to what causes them, and you actually experience it, you're like, wait, what the fuck?
That's it?
Like, you go listen to, like, Black Sabbath today. Like, if we went back and listened to some old school Black Sabbath, you're going to be like, this is the music that people thought was converting kids to the devil.
Or Twisted Sister. We're
not going to take it. And you watch that and you're like, freaking parents were mad at Twisted Sister, and you actually listen to it. One of my favorite things is to go experience a media that actually has caused some, like, more panic. Mm-hmm. And be like, oh, wait. 9 times out of 10, it's fucking nothing. It's literally nothing.
And then you have stuff that it's always when you have like a game that or a piece of media that tries to cause a moral panic, no one cares. Remember Hatred came out a few years ago, that AO game that was like, we're just gonna ban it from the store, and then that was the end of that discussion. Well, people watch videos when it came out and go, oh yeah, you're just it's black and white and you're killing dudes, whatever.
Well, it's just like, because it's what it is it's edgelord for the sake of edgelord. But, like, it's so weird that a game like that didn't trigger any, like... Because what it is, like, the people in the know look at it and go, oh, you're just trying to, like, be freaking controversial. But, like, it's weird what actually catches on and pisses people off. Like, that's why we're going to play Night Trap. Night Trap is a rated T video game. Alright? The game that triggered the need for having to have rating board is a fucking rated T video game. Like, it's not even an M.
And there's something poetic about going to play it on a Nintendo console, because one thing Howard Lincoln famously said in the trial was like, you will never see Night Trap on Nintendo console. And then lo and behold...
What's the play the Curb the Enthusiasm music, and then it just showing it on the Switch.
So you don't need to play the game along with us, but there are several videos you can watch to kind of be like, okay, I know what Night Trap is.
Just watch a little bit of footage just so you can get the drift.
Watch some footage, watch some historical, read the Wikipedia article on it, because it's a fascinating read.
But we here at State of Save, because we have integrity, we're going to play through some Night Trap.
Let's do it.
I
can't promise we'll beat it. We might get frustrated and throw stuff across the room.
Fuck, dude, I'm going to beat it.
All right, we'll do it. I don't know how hard this game is, or...
We're going to be pro Night Trap.
Pro Night Trap.
Somewhere Nick's sitting there getting ready to become an esports Night Trap player.
We got to get ready for Awesome Games Done Quick in the winter. Night Trap speed run. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Don't put this past us.
We'll just get really good
at fucking Night Trap. No, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a really good time. Make sure you join us. probably going to do a File Corrupted next week. We can try to. We'll try.
We'll see how everything shakes out.
Yeah, last week was insane. It was my birthday, and then there was a bunch of other personal stuff going on, so we didn't even get to do one last week. But stay safe at gmail.com. You send in your emails at Twitter at State of the Save, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, where we are.
Soon to be YouTube by the time this is recorded.
Yeah, soon to be YouTube.
Now that we mentioned, I gotta claim it.
Yeah, because we don't trust y'all motherfuckers. we gotta lock that shit down. As always, thank you guys for listening. Send in some more game suggestions. I love hearing game suggestions from you guys. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.